Hello and welcome to season 2 of Living Faith by the Letter. This is a video series of short little videos where we take a letter of the alphabet and give us something to think about, to pique our curiosity, to dive into a deeper study of the Bible, just try to find a way to live our life or live our faith in a practical and real way in the world and try to keep these as short as possible, but something that will be of great value to you. If you're watching on YouTube, I encourage you to please click the like button and subscribe if you have not, so these videos can get as wide an audience as possible. And we're going to take the letter A today, going through our second round. I encourage you to go back and look in the archives on our YouTube channel and look for season 1. Hopefully this will be interesting as well. But beginning season 2, we're going to start obviously with the letter A. And the letter A today is going to be for anger. The Bible tells us in Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 26, be angry and do not sin. And that tells us one thing, that first of all, it is possible to be angry and not sin. It also tells us it's possible to be angry and sin. We need to know the difference between those two. It's very important. Second part of Ephesians 4:26 also warns us, do not let the sun go down on your anger. So does that mean that it's okay for a time? Possibly. But we need to be careful that it doesn't become something that begins to fester and work against us. James 1:19 and 1:20 tells us there that we are to be slow to anger, among other things, and tells us that the anger of man won't produce the righteousness of God. So anger is something that we need to be very, very careful about. I'll fully admit this is something that I have had a struggle with in my life, trying to not let it get the best of me. Um, Trying to learn ways to control that, to just let things go and work through it in a positive way. But we also need to remember that not all anger is bad. Again, Paul wrote in Ephesians there that we can be angry and not sin. Anger can be productive in some ways. Um, we need to develop a sense of anger when we see injustice, for example. When we see injustice and cruelty, that should produce a sense of anger in us, that there's something not right about that. That means that if we feel angry about those things, when we see them, that means that we have a tender conscience, which we're supposed to cultivate. It means our heart hasn't been hardened and we haven't been callous to the point where we just say, well, that's not my problem, or, what are you going to do about it? We should be rightly upset by injustice, unrighteousness. But again, the trick is to know what to do with that. We need to put that anger to good use. Again, if we see injustice, we need to use that anger to motivate us to defend the innocent or to try to right that situation. We see Jesus using his righteous anger in the temple when he was flipping the tables. That's the example that we often go to. He was outraged that his father's house had been turned into a place of business where people were making money and even uh, seems that they were extorting people and abusing them, taking advantage of them in their desire to serve God, and that upset Jesus righteously. So he took care of that situation and ended it. I believe that there's two episodes of Jesus cleansing the temple in the scriptures, and he had to go back and do it again because human nature is what it is. Some have said that anger can be a response to a situation. It's an attempt to gain control. So something happens, something frustrates you, you're disappointed, and you lose control. Things don't go the way you want them, so you react with anger. It's an attempt to try to regain some kind of control. It's ridiculous. Logically, it doesn't make sense, but that's still what often will happen. But the idea there is when we respond to a stressful situation or disappointment with anger, we need to be very careful because that can be a trap that we can fall into. It can be something that becomes very comfortable to us, a groove that we just kind of fall into. So we need to ask ourselves when we start to feel that feeling, if this anger is for righteousness, are we righteously angry against something that is unrighteous and unjust and ungodly, or is this just plain old selfishness? Is it anger because of inconvenience or just frustration? Many times, well, if we can stop and ask those questions, it's usually the latter. At least, maybe I'm only speaking for myself. But the point I want to make with this is that we need to control anger and not let it control us. Scriptures can help us do that. these verses I've mentioned and others you may find. Do a word study, do a concordant search for anger, and you can see how we're supposed to deal with this. But so be angry, but do not let it fall into sin. I hope that that is a blessing to you today. Thank you for watching. Again, click like and subscribe if you would. I would appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. May God bless you.